Hello and welcome back to more of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, where I promise you it is the new episode. You didn't click on the wrong video. Wait, it is the next episode just because we're starting in the same place as last time. We are in a new adventure, or no, we are in a new episode this time. The last time we engaged in our first, what I believe is called Dance of Deduction with Airlock Shomes, which was certainly visually appealing in terms of its technical presentation and all that, but gameplay-wise was nothing special. But we're continuing our quest to deduce what the truth is behind the case here. We're in our second investigation, which is interesting. I would expect it. I fully expected that this case would follow the investigation trial format. It seems like we're going to do two investigations, and I'm guessing it'll be split into two trials parts afterwards, so, you know, we'll see how this goes. January 9th, SS Beria, first class cabin passageway. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd have managed to find some clues to what that speckled band might be. I'm almost positive it's going to end up being the snake. We didn't manage to investigate at all. Well, yeah, not really. I mean, we found the tiara, we found the... No, that's it. Oh, that's some thunder. We found the tiara, we did a little dance of deduction, and then we got kicked out. And I imagine... Oh, yeah, we also met, Beef Stroganoff. Because, of course, we did. That we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened, excuse me, to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. I wouldn't call him a great detective friend, but okay. Well, we've already checked this whole area, so I guess we can't go back in here. We shall never be able to enter the other cabin. Okay, so we can't go back in there. The only place we can go is back to Kazuma's cabin, so I guess we'll go back here. Since we have literally nowhere else to go. It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Was he in the room? I don't see him here, but I guess he might be in the room somewhere. Oh, is that him? Oh, dear. Yikes. He looks a little, rough around the edges. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell happened to you? Did the cabin turn you into a punching bag? Ah, you're back. Inspector! What happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. I'm worrying about it. They're just scratched. That's not a scratch. Looks like blood on the mouth, dried blood on the mouth, and broken glasses, and a bruised left eye. It's not just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe. When I told the captain I'd give you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. Well, he didn't get to that second part, thankfully. But he certainly got to the first part. But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Yeah, getting brutally beaten up when you're probably also suffering from a potentially terminal illness. Yeah, there's nothing really. No big deal. It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh! I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Airlock Shomes? I don't think he was a German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? Yeah, I'm not liking where this is going. There's a very sinking feeling in my stomach that you're gonna be revealed as having, like, cancer or something. Oops, I think I upset him there. Either that, or they retroactively changed this game after 2020 happened. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oh, I get that Trials Tribulations hasn't happened in your timeline or in your time period yet, but oh boy, howdy, you don't know how wrong you are. Oops, now I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here. Try not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you, then you probably should have opened with that. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. What is this new information that you speak of? That basically was just what I said. It's this. The Buria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report. Kazuma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? I imagine we can read that for ourselves. Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury, so at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound still suggested it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, an obvious wound. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it, so long as it doesn't get updated halfway through the trial. Probably tomorrow. Really, are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. Aww. You're gonna die, aren't you? I don't trust this. I have no faith in this. He's been coughing too much. I don't like where this might be headed. I'd never have agreed to you leaving the cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. The post-mortem report has been entered into the court record. Report from the SS Buria's medical officer giving the cause of death of the cervical spine injury. There were no traces of external injury or poison. Well, knowing this game, I'm going to check that in a bit more detail to see if there's anything else. Okay. Victim's neck was almost certainly broken. That's okay. That is an interesting detail to add. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of strong blow to the area. Almost certainly is Okay. The Great Detective. Oh, Mr. Sholmes is here, was he? I like how we're still calling him the Great Detective. Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. Crept about is certainly one way to describe him. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now you mention it, yes, just one thing, but he practically shouted. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. Did he mean that mark on the floor? It was when he was over there, by that piece of the broken glass. Yeah, he meant the marks on the floor. Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know about its shoe polish? Because he's the great airlock Sholmes, duh. That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Susato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Possibly. Seems a little too clear-cut to be true, but we'll see. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewman's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Ah, you mean Mr. Actually, no, because Beef Stroganoff is outside, so I guess that's his co-worker, who hopefully has a slightly more normal name. That might be for the best, thank you. Don't like that. Poor Inspector, you look exhausted. What would you expect? If being beaten up under normal circumstances will leave you quite drained, quite depleted of energy. But when you compound that with the fact that he may or may not be suffering from a terminal illness, things get a little bit more complicated. Oh no, well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Probably because you were both knocked out by the same thing. Okay. Well, I feel like we've already checked this. We can't talk to anyone. And there's nothing left to check in here because we've already checked everything we possibly can. So do we need to... I don't know where we're supposed to go. Because we can't go back in the other room. We already investigated the whole of the room we just came from. Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san! Is it Airlock Sholmes? Seaman strong enough as... Oh, I thought, okay. It's the Seaman. You threw me off for a second because I thought we all agreed we were going to be calling him by his true... I just bumped the microphone again. By his true name, Beef Stroganoff. I thought we were gonna call him that for the rest of the game. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Ah, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Is it the ballerina? Or is it... Does Airlock Sholmes have a theme song, and is he singing a theme song? Like his own theme song? This is caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely. Before that... Oh. It's strong enough, not stringy knot. So I guess it's not... I guess it wasn't Airlock Sholmes singing his theme song. It was Beef Stroganoff wanking himself off. Okay. Well, in that case, don't mind if I do. Into the cabin we go. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Susato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Oh, the thing's open. Yeah, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute now. Alright, number one, the briefcase is open, so the snake's definitely escaping. It's going to bite someone's head off. It's either gonna bite someone's head off or it's gonna choke someone to death, because that's how snakes do snake things. Also, Susato-san over there is digging through... actually, no, wait. First off, that wardrobe didn't have the clothes in it before, because if we recall, Airlock Sholmes was trying to take a little nap in there last time we were here. But also, hey, Susato, remember 2 episodes ago when you were like, oh, you mustn't read Kazuma's diary. Those are his deepest, darkest private thoughts. And now here you are ruffling through her wardrobe. I detect a sense of hypocrisy here. But maybe that's just me. What do I know? It's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. Oh, so it's okay when it's for the sake of investigation. You mean like what we were doing with Kazuma's notebook? I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Yeah, reading his notebook would have been for his sake too. Not just for Kusama-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Aww, how kind of you. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san, by ourselves if we have to. Aww, we've developed a little bit of a partnership here. How adorable. Glad it took 3 episodes to get to that point. I actually am. It would have been a little honestly, it would have been a little I mean, okay, so here's the thing. On the one hand, it would have been really jarring if she just instantly is like, okay, we'll be the bestest of friends, and then I'd be like, alright, you rushed that way too hard. On the other hand, it's like, I kind of already proved to you that I could not have possibly done this because of the sticker on the wardrobe, so maybe you should have been a little more trusting. I think the middle ground would have been like trusting, or at least like believing I didn't do it, yes, but not fully trusting and not fully friend levels yet. I think that would have been the proper balance to strike. But up until this point, she feels like she's just been like, I don't trust you. But you know, there was some development. I'm glad it wasn't just an instant snap between I hate you and you're terrible, I'm gonna karate kick you to the ground, to okay, we'll be best friends. So, you know, I approve. I approve. Anyway, while we're here, we may as well check around. So first and foremost, obviously first off, the layout is just a mirrored version of the room we came from. And I'd like to check the briefcase, because I'm pretty sure... Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open! It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret, because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Borea. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there, and more to the point, where is it now? Is Airlock Sholmes interrogating the snake? I hope he's interrogating the snake. That'd be hilarious. Is the snake hiding in the ventilation again? Because that's where he was last time. Well, I mean, that's where we think he was last time based on the opening. By the way, the only reason I even have the slightest idea that it might be a snake is based on the, well, no, that I know it's a snake is based on the opening prologue where they explicitly say that the Speckled band is a snake. If it were not for that, I would never have been able to deduce that it was a snake, because there's no clues to lead to that. That's just a prologue doing its thing. But now that we know that, it makes perfect sense. So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Ah, maybe it's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san, it's poor etiquette to go sifting through some of these— What? Your standards confuse me, Susato. Yeah, okay, so 2 episodes ago, she's like, oh, you mustn't read his most private thoughts, and like, he might have a dying message in there, which he did. And today, you're like, ooh, let me go sifting through her wardrobe. I'm like, that's her privates too. And she's like, no, this is for science. And then now she's like, but you mustn't go searching through the trash bin. That's the highest breach of privacy. Oh, the pain. Okay. Oh, those eyes. She's looking at me, like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances. Okay, so she's finally come around in that regard. Okay, fine. Alright, what's in the trash bin? There's hardly anything in here at all. Great, that was what a great use of our time. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Am I just being led on a wild goose chase here? What do you want me to check in this damn room? I've examined literally everything I possibly could have. I've examined the table, the saucer on the floor, the trash can, the briefcase, the shelf, sorry, the desk, the shelf, the rules. Nothing over here can be examined. I've checked the door, I've checked the wardrobe, the vent, and the alarm bell over here. What is left that you want me to check? There appears to be nothing here at all. What are we doing? Where do you want me to go? Did I miss something out in the hallway again? What do you want me to— I have no idea what's going on anymore. We're not doing anything. We're just diddling around right now. Did I actually miss something out here? Oh, okay. He's showing me his ass. Great. Apparently, the great excuse me. Apparently, the great airlock Sholmes is out here. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes. Look. Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Oh, so it was him that was singing. So I was correct. It wasn't Beast Dragon that was singing. It was him. Great. He's still singing. Does he think he hasn't noticed us? Or simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, this lucky airlock was about. How has this man solved any cases by himself? Excuse me. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! Well, what is it? You want to fight? What is this animation? What is this? Oh my god. Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Famous last words. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now was a good time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away? Good lord almighty. Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh, yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 AM this morning, the majority of the entries, are blank, which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... Ah! You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Ah! Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman off-stands sentry in the first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes it down at every 30 minutes? Nothing to report?
Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes, nothing to report when there is just that. And yet...
The ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean...
Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post.
What kind of circumstances? What happened? How would he know?
That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log.
Or a more likely matter is that he wasn't around anymore to actually take note of it.
These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file.
Okay. Whatever would we do without the great legendary airlock Sholmes? Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. I would say that was just a normal deduction that you should have noticed when you looked at the ship's log the first time.
Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes, brilliance. Ah, I'm so full of myself. Oh, wow.
What is it? Are you hurt?
Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason, nothing more.
That's 3 people now.
Well, my friends, until our next encounter.
The thing is, like, he's too insane to hate. Unlike some other characters we've dealt with in the past. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... Well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Is it something like... Because all the books got toppled over as well. On the bookshelves, which I'm assuming is a result of, like, rough waters. Because that was the thing that happened in Turnabout Airlines, was there was turbulence on the plane, so the whole plane, like, the turbulence knocked over all the books, and it sent the statue or whatever flying through the glass case in the gift shop on the plane. Gift shop on a plane. Is it something similar here where, like, there was a patch of rough waters? Because actually, I actually went on a cruise ship. Here's a little anecdote, since nothing's happening this episode so far about me. I went on a cruise ship about 10 or so years ago. For those wondering, it was the Disney Dream, and I slept right through it because this was when I was in either middle school or high school when this happened. But we were on a cruise ship. I was with my family, obviously, because I was in either middle school or high school, and I slept right through. I was with my parents and my grandmother, and my grandmother and I slept right through it. But apparently, in the middle of the night, we went through a patch of ocean. We went through a part of the ocean that was just so rough that things were flying all over the room. Like, apparently, and again, I have nothing but my parents' words and testimony to this, but I don't think they would lie to me about this. They said that, like, it was so rough that my grandmother and I were lifted off the bed. Like, we jumped up off the bed. Like, we didn't literally jump, but our bodies were lifted off the bed in our sleep, and that's, like, things were falling off the shelf, suitcases were sliding over the place. So it was just a rough time in general, so I wasn't awake to witness this, but I was told that happened, so having been on a cruise ship, and even just like when I was awake, like during the day, there were certainly instances where you can feel that you're on a cruise ship, because of, you're in the ocean, so the waves will do that to you, but, that's why some people wear those, like, the little bands to help with your balance, the little wristbands you can buy on a cruise ship to help with your balance, that kind of thing. So I know what it's like to be on a cruise ship and have, like, rough waters, which is why I'm saying that what might have happened is, like, they went through a patch of rough waters that caused the books to slam against the side of the bookshelf. Because it seems odd, because, like, my initial thought was, oh, it must just be that Ryunosuke was attacked, when someone came to kill Kazuma. But now that's Inspector Hosonaga, Airlock Sholmes, and Susato, who said they have a throbbing headache. Which almost makes me think that maybe what happened is because the whole ship would have been affected by it. They all, like, slid, like they were in their bed and they slid backwards and they rammed their head against the wall or something. I don't know. I have no evidence to support that. I'm just kind of verbalizing my train of thought right now as to what could be happening. Also, what the hell is going on in this investigation so far? Nothing has happened so far. What do you want me to do? I've checked everywhere. I've checked literally. I can't go. Oh, I can go in here. I guess. Okay, I guess it was just late. I've checked everywhere. What the hell? What? What the hell's happening? Switch on the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile for. Full stop. Hard to starboard. Brace for impact. What the hell? What the hell's going on? What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. We're about to what? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Wah! Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhito-san. It looks like we avoided a collision. I think. Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness! What about you, Naruhito-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine.
Hello? Is anybody in there? Sorry if you need assistance.
Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Is that you in there, Naruhito-san? Unbolt the door quickly. What? The bolt? Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again.
Exactly what I said might have happened. Exactly what I said would have happened.
Naruhito-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? You could have opened the door too. Why is this on me? I better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around hiding up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. What? That's it? What is happening? Okay, I'm just confused. Nothing happened nothing happened that episode. Literally nothing happened. Okay, let's review. So we met up with Inspector Hosonaga, and he got beat up. And then we diddled around in the hallway, and we diddled around in the room, and we learned nothing. And then we found out that the ship log was, the captain, something happened to the captain, because obviously he would have reported there was nothing to report had he still been around to take the log. And then we went back into the room, and then the ship almost crashed into another ship, and then the episode ended. What? What happened? Nothing happened. And we're doing another investigation? Because again, you don't go from that to trial, so we're doing 3 investigations? That's only ever happened, I think, twice. No, sorry. No, yeah, twice. Right? Wait, that's only happened once. Except for, again, discounting the investigation games because those play by their own rules. The only time this has happened before is in Spirit of Justice, because even in Justice for All, Trials and Tribulations, and Dual Destinies, and actually no, not even Dual Destinies, I think that was only 1 investigation max in that one. Even in those games, it was only ever 2 investigation sequences. But Spirit of Justice is the only game so far to have 3 back-to-back investigation sequences, and that was in the final case of the game. This is case 2, and we're already dealing with a mystery that's apparently so massive and so intricately woven that it needs 3 investigations. Although I don't even think it needed 3. I think we definitely could have cut this one up. I think if we got in the writer's room, we could have chopped this episode up and, like, divvied it out. I think we could have maybe shifted the Inspector Hosonaga thing, that scene, to the end of the last one, shifted the ship's log discovery to when we first read the ship's log, and then just stitched the crash to the end of the last episode. Because we didn't really learn anything. We didn't learn anything new that couldn't have been placed elsewhere. This was a weird episode. But hopefully things will get a bit more interesting next episode. So that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. We'll catch you all tomorrow for some more of the Great Ace Attorney adventures. Goodbye.